I think that got updated like a year ago or a year and a half ago when they changed the audiences and how they were laid out inside of YouTube. Because
Yeah,
before you weren't able to do that. It was just like purely what you had combined together. So
right. And
that
so
was a
that's kind
good
of where
change.
that's why, yeah, it was, remember, it was like Infinity or like in market or, yeah. So now it's all kind of grouped into one, which I do like. But this is something I would say is like, you have high intent here. I can hit an audience, be like, have you tried a dog de-shedding kit that vacuums and cleans and cuts your dog while he sleeps? Wow. Like, cool. Okay. So let's just save this for now. Let's go into the campaign creation. I think I might have to refresh. Typically I build out the audiences first, but I'm sick, so that's my excuse. I'm trying to teach as well. So we're just going to call this one YouTube sequencing. Okay. Target CPM daily, say $100 because we are starting. YouTube networks are good. United States. Make sure this is English.
Now, why make sure that's English?
Yes, because otherwise you get a lot of weird non-English YouTube channels that your ads show to users who also don't speak English. So it's like, hey,
Even if you're
kids,
targeting the United States.
right? Even if you're targeting the United States, it goes off of what your browser settings are. So if your browser setting is set to English speaking, then that's what it's going to do. If it doesn't know, it interprets, and it actually does a pretty good job. But if I was having like, we actually do this. We have an Obamacare campaign in a company called Sotogodos Obamacare, whatever it is. It's a Spanish speaking company, and it only goes after people who are Spanish speaking for Obamacare. I mean,
For a
$10,
second there, I was
$12.
like, I thought you're having a stroke. I was like, what was that? But that makes sense.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
soda,
Yeah,
hoda.
it's like soda. I forget what it's called. It's probably in here.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Somos Obamacare. There it is. This one works extremely well for the Spanish speaking community, but that is something that we only target Spanish speakers with. All right. Now the demographics, we covered that. Okay, so let's do audiences, browse. Then your custom ones. No, is it the custom segments? De-shedding searches with intent. That's gonna be good enough for now. We saw how we build one, how we would do that. Related videos. This is something that you can use instead of your YouTube campaign. I typically do not in this area for a sequencing campaign just because I want them to be in a really specific sequencing. This is like, hey, we can add other videos. Great. The product feed, I always do a product feed if I have at least 4. The only way that you could do a product feed on YouTube is if you have a minimum of 4 products. Now, the bad part here is if I did this for a specific kit that they have, like the vacuum cleaner, that's $200 product, I only have one of those. So I can't actually use a product feed for that. Fine. But if it's more branding, more awareness, like we have a whole array of pet supply products made for your dog, then I can do it that way. So I always just got to take that as a, am I product specific or am I branding? But just know there's a minimum of 4 that's required.
And you also can segment out which products show later once the feed's connected too.
Right. All right. So now devices. I always exclude TV screens. If I'm running CTV or if I'm running TV specific ads, then I'm not like trying to get clicks and conversions and that kind of stuff. Then I will include TV screens, general branding, great. Even remarketing is fine for TV screens. But in my proactive that I know I'm going to try to get at least click attributed conversions, just always remove TV screens. Everything else, operating system networks, is just don't worry about that. Like you're like, I only want Verizon users. Great. If you're Sprint going after Verizon users, you can totally do that. But you can
What
actually
about tablets though?
What's that?
What about tablets though as well?
Oh, I'll do tablets. Anything that you can physically engage with. People, when it's on TV, are not going to try to like run to find their clicker real quick to buy something on the TV. And so I would try to measure it off of where I think I'm going to get a physical engagement from.
Okay, so you're not worried about tablets having like, their kids on it and them doing stuff.
Right.
It's only on YouTube.
Yeah, and you will be able to see all, obviously, like where ads showed, and it's a good practice every 3 days to kind of remove apps and kids games and that kind of stuff. We do have ads, the exclusion of ads without YouTube. I forget exactly the
Google AdSense without YouTube.com. Yeah,
that's it. Yep. So that one, we do have that one as a negative. At the account level, it's an exclusion, so we're covered there at least from as much as we can possibly get from like apps, but you're still going to get YouTube channels that is like Cocomelon and that kind of, kind of kid stuff.
Cocomelon.
Yep. I see
You're
that one
definitely a dad.
all the time. Well, I see Cocomelon all the time. I actually saw it on YouTube. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then my kids start watching it. I'm like, I get
There
it.
you go. Yeah, that's funny.
Yep. So frequency capping. We want this to be 7 days, or depending upon the length of your sequence. So, for example, a person won't see an entire sequence more than once within 7 days and won't see a step more than once. So, what this basically means is that if you have 20 videos in your sequence, don't do it every 7 days. Remember, these are
It's a
people,
lot of views or a lot of impressions per person.
Yeah, and it's also that these people have to only arrive on YouTube. It's not like you can get them on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can only get them when they're on YouTube. And if they're on YouTube twice a week, they may see the first 2 ads, kind of on repeat all the time. So larger sequences, do it once per 30 days. Smaller sequences, 3 videos, once per 7 is completely fine. So this one's going to be dependent upon the length of your sequence. Ad schedule, I actually do prefer sometimes starting, depending upon what the time zone is, this Eastern Eastern time zone. So if I wanted to start at like 5 a.m. on the West Coast, I'll actually, I'll probably start at like 7 a.m. 7 a.m. on the East Coast, fine. 4 a.m. on the West Coast, fine. That's good. Go to midnight, that's okay, because that's 9 p.m. So this is sometimes a really good one, because what we're trying to do is, remember, we're not going to have an algorithm to rely on. We're not going to be able to say like, aha, Google's going to find it for me. We're really setting up this like a TV commercial. Like, you got to go old school on this. Like, when are they awake and not drunk? Now, sometimes it might want to be like, if you're marketing for like, an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, your best time might be between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. But again, our demographics actually older women, old ladies. Old ladies love this thing because it's a vacuum cleaner. They get to de-shed, trim, and comb and vacuum and all this stuff. It's like basically their dog, which typically for an elderly person is a lot of scrubbing, and they don't want to do that. So again, know your audience.
And you found out that it was an older demographic because of the data that you saw inside of Google as well as Meta.
We actually saw it most often inside of our post-purchase survey.
Okay, so qualitative data instead of quantitative. Got it.
Yeah, so we basically said agnostic of source, like, who are you? And we basically said like, hey, thanks so much for your purchase. Here's a 10% off coupon if you were to fill out this survey. And so a lot of people will fill it out because we do have like washing machine tablets and all the other stuff. So there's a whole array of products people want to try. And we'll give them 10% off coupon in order to complete the survey. And that will tell us exactly where those people, or not exactly, but it will tell us kind of where they came from. So this is my ad schedule. Good. I'm going to skip third-party measurement. I'm not going to do anything here. And here's the sequencing templates. What's nice about this is they give you kind of a pre-built array to choose from initially if you wanted to. So you can choose a custom sequence, which is what we're going to be doing, but it's a pure sequence base. If you do like introduce and reinforce, like, hey, this is a long ad followed by a short ad. Or you have prompt and inspire. This could be great for like a launch happening this Friday. Like, hey, big sale happening this Friday. This sale happens tomorrow. And here's all the products and blah, 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 blah. You can kind of see how you can introduce your content to people. They have to see this in a sequence. You get to tell a story. Super helpful. All right. So if we wanted to go back to custom sequence, this is where we're going to start. This custom sequence, you are now defining the steps. And the steps is a video ad. And the video ads are going to go inside of a sequence. And then we're going to go inside the sequence steps. So we'll cover that now. So step 1, this is the first ad. So you can actually call this, ad number 1. And this is something where it's like intro to, I would say, kit. This is just going to be for you. No one's going to see this. So this is going to be like an intro to the kit. Now, I actually have, actually, I could probably just grab it from here. So let's just see this one. Let's grab a kit. Perfect. Here's a kit one. I'm actually going to start, just for ease of use, I'm just going to start ripping things off of this here. So this is my, let's just call that my intro to the kit. Cleans as you groom. Cool. You can make it as skippable or even a non-skippable, but your non-skippable needs to be 15 seconds or less. This was 38, would not qualify. Quick pro tip. If you select this, it errors out and you got to rebuild the whole campaign. Happened to me last time. I'm not touching it. Don't touch it. But The option went away to turn it into a skippable, and it's just like, sorry, this thing can't run. So I don't know what happened. It just glitched out.
That
But anywho,
sucks. That
yep.
really sucks. How many videos were in there? Just out of curiosity.
16.
Oh my, I'd be pissed.
I finished it the next day. I just turned off my computer. I'm like, I'm going to bed.
God,
Yeah,
so
it sucked. So here, one as an example, like this one's a collections page, but because this one is actually an all-in-one, but I'm just going to actually drive them right to the kit. So obviously PDP matters. So if I'm going to have a product about the grooming kit, I want the kit. Display path doesn't really matter. No one's going to look at a YouTube video's display path. It's not inbound search to make sure we're getting to the right page. And then call to actions. I always like shop now, but you can do learn more. You can see in action, whatever it is. Whatever your call to action is, obviously, whatever your headline is, your descriptions. This is all stuff that I'm not teaching anybody here. You're part of an advanced mastermind. I don't have to teach you about ad copy.
Yeah, it's basic stuff. And to be honest, it's not the biggest mover, I guess you could say.
What I would say is make sure that branding and short messaging is always there. So for example, this would be completely fine. I have Uproot Clean, I have branding, I have the logo, obviously sponsored there. Explore all our top rated pet hair removers at Uproot Clean. Great. This is one of our most expensive products at $200. However, we have cleaning solutions starting at $15. So I don't have to be like, buy the $200 kit. And like, but it's like, explore all of our top rated hair. Okay, cool. Now I know that you're a company that has some at least things that I may want. So great. So I can choose that. Then descriptions, good. Okay. Add URL options, auto generate using your channel banner. You can upload an image. Again, this is more, I don't really see like a big, like, whoa, this is way better. Just let's make sure we get through this quickly. There's about 18 minutes left, but choose obviously best performing, content here. Rip it from your search. Branded search is great to rip it from, just because it usually does like a good way about who you are, but keep it short and keep it branded. So Uproot Clean, and you can even say something like, Uproot Clean. Say goodbye to. I mean, you can be as brandable as you want.
Fresh. Like you're introducing someone to the brand.
This is the first time they've ever seen you before. So how do you want to be remembered, essentially? Then, okay, cool. So now give it an ad name. Fine. Let's save ad. Now, let's see here. That's the one thing I say the wrong one. Let me go back in here. So let me just copy all these over. That's good. Call to action, shop now. That's good. Headline. I'm just going to use the same headline. Uproot Clean. I don't like my headline to be non-branded. I want that headline there. Add one intro to kit. All right, now here it is. Here's what I like about it. Is when I remember I said it's about 10, 11 bucks. This one's $8.91. My best luck that I've had here is choose simply a round it up to the next dollar. There is a issue here. The further you go through this sequence, the higher your CPM needs to be in order to run. This kind of, I don't know how, but it does seem to stack and uniquely. So if Caden sees that number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to get Caden through all 5, I need to have potentially a 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. Don't know why, but I've had to increase my bid later on. I don't know if it compounds and adds, because it's by impression, not by unique impression, but it acts like it's by unique impression. Whatever it is, just know that may be something that you have to do. Now add to sequence. Okay, so now we have our first sequencing ad built. Now it's going to go to the next step. But this next step,
key, by the way, for everyone, this is like key information right now. Watch
exactly.
this.
So here's the next step. Now I build my first sequence by a view. So, which means show this step, which is step 2, only to people who had the following interaction on the previous step. So do you want to show them this ad after you impress them with an ad? That is good enough. I do view first because I know that if you viewed ad number 1, I'm going to show you ad number 2, and it might be different than if I were to try something else if you're impressed and or skipped. So now we're building out the funnel, essentially. I'm going to do view first. We're just going to call this like, ad number 2. Cool. I'm just going to grab another video ad here. I'm just going to do another vacuum. I think that's a vacuum one. Yeah. No, it's a brush. So let's just do one more vacuum. That's one here. Okay. So now I'm going to grab this one here, grab a new video.
I just saw that video. I love it. Husky, just hair everywhere.
Right, just getting blasted. All All right, so we got this one, skippable, collections all. I'm going to send it to this kit here, yada, yada, yada. Display URL, fine. I could just do like, kit. If you wanted to do display URL, call to action, shop now, headline uproot clean, all the good stuff. So that's good here. Right, ad number 2. Again, I'm going fast for demonstration, 891. So we hit 9. Now let's just add this one to the sequence. Ad number 2. Great, so we got step 1. They view and skip. Now you see this. Well, if they view it, what if they skip it? Aha. So what I like to do here is I actually like to say if they skip, they're going to see ad number 2 skipped 1. We're titling them now. So
make sure you title them.
Make sure you title them. This is actually your ad group. That's how these are titled. This is your ad group. And if you're going to be managing this on an ad group level, which is very easy to do, and I'll show you how it displays after it's all done. But the ad group level is very nice to say, okay, if you can get these things in sequenced, you can say, okay, if they saw 1, good. Good click the rate on 1, good click the rate on 2, good click the rate on 3. Now, what if they skipped good, bad click, or okay click the rate on 1, they skip 2. Actually, I have a really good click the rate on click 3. So these are when people are not interested in the first one, they actually start to gain interest here. Okay, so my skippers, I'm going to reconfigure my sequencing to say, if you skip the first one, you now see this one. So it's a self-optimizing, not self-optimizing. You can optimize it based on what's going on.
Manual optimize, yeah.
Manual optimize, exactly. Self-service optimize.
Pump your own gas kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.